Okay, I'm just writing this out so we understand what we're talking about. We're going to rebase the third feature with the master branch. That means we're going to change the third feature with the master branch. Okay. All this means is, since we created the third feature branch, we created the third feature branch right around here, right? Actually, let's highlight that guy too, just so we... Okay, so where we created the third feature branch was off of this gray commit, right? And then we started making some green commits. Since we made the green commits, there's two yellow commits that happen on the master branch, right? So rebasing, what it does is it takes all the commits that happened, okay, on the master branch since we created the branch. So that's the yellow ones. It takes the yellow commits and plays those first, and then plays your green commits on top of those. Okay? So what it's going to do is it's going to start with the gray square, right? And it's going to apply the yellow, apply the second yellow, then apply the green, then apply the green. Okay? So the way the branch line actually looks, all right, is really as simple let me just do this properly here. As this, right? If you think about it, what's happening is I am, okay, starting with the gray square, I'm going to replay the master commits first. So yellow, yellow. Then I'm going to replay green, green, right? So these greens are actually played on top of this yellow up here, okay? So you're moving it up to here, right? That's conceptually what's happening. And actually on top of that, the last thing it does is it moves the pointer up to the top here. Now you see what happens. We have a nice clean line here. And you can see why it's called rebasing. You're changing the base of the branch, right? Because the branch used to be based at the gray square, right? Now you're changing that base to on top of here, okay? Now the way it gets there in the background, again, is it replays these commits, all right? Now, when you rebase the third feature branch with the master branch, you're only affecting the third feature branch. Notice the master branch hasn't actually changed, right? The master is still pointing to this yellow one here, and this line hasn't changed. Now the third branch, though, for the third feature branch, completely changes because it has a new base now, and the pointer is up here, and these commits may appear a little differently because they're applied on top of the yellow commit versus on top of the gray commit. This is what rebasing does. All right. Now you can see we are set up for a fast forward merge. Now if I want to merge third back into master, it's going to be a much easier merge, right? It's just going to be a fast forward merge at that point. So the whole point of rebasing is that, let's say, you know, the master branch gets out of control. It is like so many commits since you've done the third feature branch. And on top of that, maybe all the commits that happen in master don't even have to do with the changes that you're making in the third feature. The nice thing about that is you can create a nice clean line by doing a rebase. Okay, so how do we do this with the command line? Okay, where are we right now? We're sitting on the master branch. We've made a couple commits that aren't in the third feature, and that's those yellow commits, right? Okay, so let's check out to the third feature. Now, a good way to remember how to actually do a rebase, okay, and in other words, which branch are you rebasing to which branch, is that Git keeps this consistency that whatever branch you're sitting on, okay, so I'm sitting on third feature branch, that's the branch that's going to be affected, okay? So if I want to change the base of the third feature branch, in other words, if I want to change something about third feature, I need to be checked out onto that branch, right? And all you have to do here is you do git rebase master, okay? Now look what it did. It actually explains to you what's happening. First, rewinding head to replay your work on top of it. Added index, added more, and da-da-da. Okay? So, exactly what I said. Whoops. So it was sitting here, right? And the head of that branch was sitting right here. So what it's going to do is it rewinds this, okay? Moves it up to here, right? It rewinds it back and moves it up to here. And then it replays your commits on top of that, okay? And replay and replay. It's almost like you went back to master, checked out another branch, and did those exact same commits that you did there. That's what rebasing is all about. Okay? Added index, da-da-da. So you're putting your work on top of it. Your work on top of the master branch, okay? And now this is what we have. So now, if we actually do a checkout to the master branch, and we do a merge, this is a fast forward merge now, right? We're sitting in a situation where we can do a fast forward merge. So if my theory is correct, hopefully it is, and you'll see it right there, fast forward. Okay? So rebasing is, again, something that I don't use that often, but mainly because, to be honest, a lot of the Git that I do is work that I'm doing by myself. A lot of rebasing might be beneficial when you're doing a lot more collaborative work. And because when you're doing a lot of work by yourself, it's rare that you're touching the master branch while you're working on a feature branch. Usually, this only happens in collaborative work. So collaborative work, you're working on one branch and someone else is working on another branch, and they merge their code into master. All of a sudden, master has gone up a few commits since you've checked out, right? And if you're afraid of messing up master when you do your merge, and you want a nice clean fast forward merge when you do that, then one of the best things to do is rebase your current branch that you're working on. And that'll create a nice clean line, and then you can merge it, right? Again, I haven't used rebase that often, but it is a very cool feature of Git, and hopefully you understand it a bit better now.